What's good, all day fam? So I didn't do my predictions for the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles game, but I think you all already know I would have picked the Bears. You know, I'm never hardly ever picking against my boy Caleb Williams. And given the fact of how the Eagles have been playing lately, yeah, I definitely would have picked the Bears. And how the Bears are playing, I would definitely would have picked the Bears. You know, football is about matchups. Football is about playing complementary football, and that's what the Bears has been playing all year. Their defense has been playing very well, and their running game is amongst the best in the league. And I definitely would have picked them to beat the Eagles. You know, the Eagles, with the Eagles playing that the Eagles do well prior to yesterday's game and prior to last week, the Eagles, they appear to know how to win more better than any other team. But right now the Eagles are not playing well. Jalen Hurts isn't playing well. You know, it's a disaster, and to be honest with you, it's ridiculous because the Eagles have too much talent on that team for them not to be playing well. They have too much talent on their defensive side of the ball for them not to be playing well. They have too much time on their offensive side of the ball to not be playing well. I mean, that's dealing with coaching. You know, Nick Sirianni, he gets his flowers when he's coaching them well and he's playing well, and then when they lose, you know what I'm saying? Even when they win, it's just like, yeah, you're winning, but look at how you're winning. Yeah, your flaws are going to catch up with you eventually. Like, the league is going to catch up with that. You're not going to just keep winning, keep getting lucky week in and week out. I'm not going to say luck, because I don't want to mix luck with football. But you're not going to keep just coming away with these 1 point, 2 point, 3 point wins week in, week out. It's just not going to happen. And the thing about it is that I will say Jalen Hurts is one of the biggest problems of this situation. He's one, because he is the quarterback of that team, and then when the Eagles' offense is not rolling how they should be, they pretty much lose games. And Jalen Hurts, he gets a lot of credit. He gets a lot of love, you know, when they're winning and when they won the Super Bowl. I'm not trying to take anything from him. It's great. But I've been saying this for years now. You know, I've been saying it for years, ever since after he had that MVP run when they played against the Chiefs the first time. You know, I was really big on him. I was like, okay, in that Super Bowl, I was like, that was one of the best Super Bowl performances I've ever seen by a quarterback. You know, and I was like, and then I said, you know, he outplayed Mahomes. But the next year, he starts slouching, sort of. He starts not really playing all that well. Like, and then the following year, which was last year, he wasn't really playing all that well. But he was clutch in big time moments. But all those other games you saw, he wasn't playing well. And so and it was the same with Patrick Mahomes. Like, I was telling everybody, I'm like, okay, just because Patrick Mahomes is winning Super Bowls, is going to the playoffs. But I was like, yo, like, the proof, like, let's look at the details. Let's look at everything. Let's take everything into consideration. Let's actually watch these games. Could you watch these games and literally, honestly say Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL? No, you can't. He hasn't been playing really, like, all 4 quarters. Been playing like the best quarterback in the NFL for a while now. I can't think of a time, but for a while. Because like I said, I love Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a really great quarterback. But for us to say that he's just the best just because him and Reed is going to the Super Bowl, you know, every year, they're winning AFC championships, they're winning games, that doesn't mean that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback. You get what I'm saying? Like, And I stopped thinking that he was the best quarterback for a while now, and I've been saying it on my videos, you know? Like, I look at everything. I'm not going to say, like, if a quarterback is actually dealing with worse, has a worse coach, you know, and they have a lot more they have to deal with, and they have to overcome all those issues, I'm not going to sit here and say that Patrick Mahomes is automatically better than him. I'm not going to sit here and say Jalen Hurts is automatically better than him. They was trying to squeeze that Jalen Hurts was a top 5 quarterback. Like, since when? They was trying to say Jalen Hurts was better than Justin Herbert. That's what Nick Wright was trying to say. Jalen Hurts playing like trash right now. Like, since when was Jalen Hurts, you know what I'm saying, the problem? I mean, since when was Jalen Hurts playing better than Justin Herbert? Jalen Hurts never played better than Justin Herbert, ever. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, the media, like I said, the media's gonna praise who they want to praise. They're gonna criticize who they want to criticize. You know, and as soon as these players, their ways catches up with them, and as soon as, like, especially the quarterback, they start losing, and then that's when they start saying, "Oh no, you know, now it's a problem." Jalen Hurts' game has never changed. He's been playing this. He's been playing just like this for the past 3 years now. There's nothing going on with Jalen Hurts. It's all of a sudden the Eagles are just losing, and now it's kind of being magnified on, is Jalen Hurts the problem? You get what I'm saying? And it's gonna be sooner or later when they're gonna start asking if Patrick Mahomes is the problem. They ain't doing it now because Patrick Mahomes has a lot of, like, he got a huge resume. He's done a lot in the past, you know what I'm saying? So they're going to give him some time, but it's going to be a time. Like, Patrick Mahomes keeps playing like this, which he has been for the past couple of years, they're going to say the exact same thing. They're going to start saying the exact same thing. And then let Justin Herbert, all Justin Herbert got to do is keep playing how he's playing, but let the Chargers keep winning. They're going to start trying to crown and come up reasons why Justin Herbert's the best. I guarantee you. That's why I just can't stand the media when they rate these players, and especially when they rate the quarterbacks, because it's lousy analysis, because what they do is they just go based on wins and losses with these quarterbacks. And, you know, it's just ridiculous. And, you know, and listen, I'm a huge Caleb Williams fan. Caleb Williams is my guy. But he didn't play well. He didn't really play all that well yesterday. He didn't really do anything yesterday. I think he had 154 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. You know, if I'm going to say that Caleb Williams, if I'm going to start putting Caleb Williams as a top 5, I don't care what the Bears do. I don't care if they go to the playoffs, they win Super Bowls. I'm not going to. If Caleb Williams is not really playing a huge factor in that, if Ben Johnson is really stressing the running game like how he is, and having one of the best, or the best, you know what I'm saying, running games in the league, and their defense playing like that, and that's how they win the games, you know, strictly off the running game. And Caleb Williams, because he needs Caleb Williams to come in to throw the ball, like throw a couple touchdowns here or there, or he needs him to come up in clutch moments. I'm not going to just automatically just start saying that Caleb Williams is a top 5, top 1 best quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And I'm already want to. You guys already hear, like, I be hinting about Caleb Williams I be like trying to hint that he's the best, but I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm going to stay on my principles, to stay on how I rate these players, you know, and rate these quarterbacks. You know, so Caleb Williams will have to dig in. He's going to have to. He ain't going to have to snap off, but yeah, he actually is going to have to snap off to be a top 5 quarterback. That's, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he is. I can't put you in the top 5 just because you're winning. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I like I said, but I think Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is going to get it done. I think Caleb Williams is going to show why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You know, but right now, yesterday he didn't play well. Well, I didn't really watch the game, so I can't really say he didn't play well. I'm literally just going based on stats. But yesterday, I wasn't really all that impressed with his stats, you know. So, but hey, just because his stats are like that doesn't mean he didn't play well. So I gotta watch the game. I'll have to check that out to see, you know. But I do know he didn't have a factor in that game being won. I know it was the running game in that defense, you know, shutting down the Eagles' offense. That was the real reason why they won. So, yeah, but hey, man, I think I love what's going on in Chicago. I love what's going on for Caleb Williams right now with Ben Johnson, and, you know, and the Eagles and the Chiefs. They're getting exposed. They're getting exposed right now. You know, the Chiefs are cooked. They may come back next year and do their thing, but the Chiefs are going to have to blow it all up. You know, you got guys like Chris Jones and you know, and some other, and Travis Kelce, you know, who are just not contributing to wins anymore, and they're becoming more of a distraction. And what I mean by a distraction, not like they're causing havoc or chaos in the locker room or on the team. I'm talking about they're becoming more of a distraction because they're holding up space. You know, you are legends for the Chiefs. You did great things for the Chiefs. I mean, if I was Andy Reid, I was like, we thank you, we love you, but we got to move on. You know, we got to start making room for younger talent, for younger, better talent. We're gonna have to. You know, Chris Jones, he hasn't been the top defensive tackle in the league since I don't know when. And Travis Kelce, he hasn't been contributing in the past couple of years. You know, it's time for both of them to go. You know, so. Patrick Mahomes, he's still playing well. But is he still playing as a top 5 quarterback? No, he's not. He's top 5, but everybody crowns him as the first. Is he still playing as the best quarterback in the league? Like I said, no, he's not. So right now, the best top quarterbacks I would say in the league right now, Stafford. You know, people talking about Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the league. Dak Prescott is not the best quarterback in the league. People are like, oh, he's playing out of his mind, yada yada yada. He has the best wide receiver tandem in the entire NFL. He should be playing out of his freaking mind. That's the same thing I'm saying about Joe Burrow. I'm like, Joe Burrow should be throwing over 4,000, near 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns. You got the best tandem in the league. You should. So, I mean, it's like, bro, like, come on, man. But, everybody been wanting to praise Dak for the longest. I said they're going to praise who they praise. They're going to criticize who they don't criticize. I always thought Dak Prescott was a good quarterback, but, But even though he has the best tandem in the league, I would still put him in top 5, because he's still doing his thing. Like I said, he still has to be able to distribute the ball. He's still got to be a good passer, And Dak, he is a good passer. He knows how to distribute the ball. I always thought he was a good quarterback. I never thought he was a great quarterback. I never thought he was a top 5 quarterback. But right now he is. But the best, no. I know the media is trying to say he's the best. Right now, the best right now, I would say, is between Stafford and Herbert. And the reason why I'm throwing Herbert in there is still because, again, the Chargers are 7-4 with the worst offensive line in the league, the worst running offensive line, run blocking offensive line in the league, and his tight end, his running backs, which is quarterback's best friend, are not reliable, and his offensive coordinator is calling terrible offensive plays where he cannot get the ball out of his hands fast enough. But somehow Justin Herbert is still figuring out to be productive on the field and to distribute that ball, to pass the ball, and for the Chargers to still come on top with only 4 losses. That says a lot about your quarterback. So I'm still going to say Herbert is the best in the league. If Herbert starts playing bad, I will get on him about that. I will. But it's very rare when Herbert plays bad, on a full game. It's very rare. So, but, like I said, Herbert, Stafford, Dak, and I can't think of any other quarterbacks right now. I can't think of any others. But those are definitely the 3 that I will put in my top 5 as of right now. Maybe Mahomes, I guess, Mahomes, Allen, I guess you could say they could still be up there. I can't put Lamar Jackson up there. It's bad. It's bad. I can't put. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is in the top 5 right now, man, and it's bad because you guys know I do root for Lamar, and I was saying like Lamar was better than Allen, but right now he's not looking like, he's not even looking like a top 10 quarterback. He's looking, I don't know what's going on with Lamar. I think he's been going 3 games without a touchdown. Maybe he's still hurt. That could be it. Maybe he came back a lot sooner than what he should. Maybe there's still some stuff that's going on with Lamar that we don't know. And I will say this, it's time for John to go. I think John Harbaugh needs to get going. It's the same thing with him every single year. The Ravens, they play bad, and then they end up playing good, and they end up into the playoffs, and then they may win a playoff game, and then they lose a playoff game, and they're out of the playoffs. This year, it's looking like the Ravens may not even make it to playoffs. Like, we are literally seeing right now in this year, 2025's NFL season, that there might be a season without the Ravens and the Chiefs in the playoffs. That's wild. You know what I'm saying? So, but hey, we're going to see what's up, man. That's all I have for y'all right now. I'm just giving you all my Black Friday recap and my Thursday and my Thanksgiving recap, between the Chiefs and the Cowboys. Those are my recaps. I so like I had some family in town, my parents, And then I had an unexpected death in the family. You know, like my cousin, he died. You know, just unexpected, like just out of nowhere, he just died. You know, we were trying to figure out what happened. We don't know if it was a stomach aneurysm or what. But my cousin, he was only 42 years old, and you all know I'm originally from San Diego, and so but like my cousin from San Diego. But I went out to Menifee because I also have family in Menifee, so we all met up at my uncle's house, my great uncle's house, you know, in Menifee. And so I've kind of been busy with family, with my parents in town for Thanksgiving, and then, you know, my cousin dying, you know. And so it was it's a very tragic, unexpected, shocking event. You know, I'm still trying to process that all, you know. So but I still owe you you know, my takes on these games and stuff. So, you know, like, I just letting y'all know, like, I still love y'all, and, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna still keep these videos going. You know, we're gonna still keep them going. And yeah, I'll be back very soon, and I'll give you all my predictions for tomorrow's games, for, you know, NFL Sunday, you know, games. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I love you all, man, and take care. Peace, deuces.